And I've got Dr. Ntombela, who's from the discipline of Human Resource Management and IR. And
everyone.
And I've got Dr. Bihari, who's coming from the discipline of Management and Entrepreneurship. And lastly, I've got the second last, I've got Dr. Akunai, who's coming from the discipline of Information System and Technology. Thank you. And then lastly, I have got Dr. Zondi, who's coming from the discipline of Public Governance. With that short introduction, these colleagues will actually take you through with some of career opportunities that actually are within their specific disciplines. But firstly, I would like to actually welcome all of you from the School of Management, IT and Governance. I'm sure some of you will be based at Pietermaritzburg, and then some of you will be based here at Westville, because some of our programs are offered in PMB and then others are offered here at Westville campus. So we actually look forward to serving you the best education you need to actually fulfill your dreams. And then again, we'll make sure that we'll support in each of your journey, so that at the end of the day, you can be in the best place to actually complete your degree in the record time. Again, I'm sure you've attended several sessions yesterday, and then the day before yesterday, whereby you have actually highlighted with the support services that the university have, or this college actually have. So we're really looking forward to actually seeing you at your best in every learning endeavor. So again, what I normally observe in most cases, some of the students will find that they don't want to actually utilize the services that are actually available to them. Because we've got the student support services, we've got academic development officers, we've got tutors that are available, and then again, we've got the writing place that is there to actually assist you with your academic journey. So we wish you the best in your studies, and then again, may each day become a productive step for you to learn, for you to grow, and then again, for you to achieve whatever you want in actually life. So welcome to our school. We are really proud that you actually chose the School of Management, IT and Government to actually further your studies. So in that brief welcoming message, I would like to actually highlight few things that relate to the handbook. The reason why I'm doing this, I know that the rules were covered again yesterday, but again, I have to actually emphasize certain rules in relation to your studies. Because some of the rules, you'll find that they tend to actually affect majority of the students, and then they will indicate that we're not aware of this. So it's quite important to actually emphasize these few rules that are actually contained in your handbook. Again, the issue of handbook, you need to always have your handbook ready. You have to save it somewhere. If you have got a laptop, save it somewhere. If you don't have a laptop, maybe you've got a memory stick, then try to make sure that you save the handbook, because this handbook will assist you, and then it will give you a proper guidance in terms of your programs that you fall under. So firstly, it's an issue that relates to registration, which is a GR9 rule. So it's quite important to actually understand that before you can do anything, you have to make sure that you register the relevant modules that are within your program. So if it become general, you have to make sure that you register the relevant modules that falls under become general. If you are in BCom Foundation, make sure that you registered the right modules for BCom Foundation. If you're doing a Bachelor of Administration, again, make sure that relevant modules are actually registered for. And then again, another rule that is actually quite critical, it's the rule that talks about the exemptions from the module. So you will see that on the handbook, we have got a Zulu module that is actually compulsory to all first-year students that join the university. So let's say that you did isiZulu at the high school level. So you will be exempted from doing isiZulu. So which means instead of taking isiZulu, you have to make sure that you find another module that will replace isiZulu. That's quite important. So for a BCom structure, BCom General and BCom Foundation, you find that this is at the second level, whereby we have to register isiZulu. So then, therefore, you have to make sure that if you are Nguni speaking or you passed isiZulu at the high school level, you need to make sure that you take either level 1 or level 2 module that will replace isiZulu. So that is quite important. You need to understand that, because in most cases, you'll find that the student, they will go all the way until they are that level. And then you'll find that there's only one module that is outstanding for their degree to be completed. And then they will have to then come back for another semester to actually register and pass that particular module. So it's quite important to understand that if you have isiZulu from high school, or then you can actually able to communicate in isiZulu, you can then have to visit isiZulu department from humanities, so that they can actually do an assessment to check if you can actually able to communicate with those basic the concept of isiZulu, so that you will be then exempted. Once you're exempted, make sure that you register another module that will replace isiZulu. And then again, there's other a rule that is also quite critical. It's GR 14 that actually talks about the core requisite requirements. When you join the university for the first time, under BCom General, there are 10 modules that you need to complete. So which means 5 per semester, 5 semester 1 and then 5 semester 2. So you need to make sure that you pass those modules. Because for instance, if you fail to pass management 102, it means that you cannot able to register MGNT 2SM, you cannot able to register marketing 2AM, you cannot able to register SCMA 2OM. So this rule is quite clear that there are certain modules that you need to meet the prerequisite before you can actually register them. Make sure that all your first level modules are actually completed, or you passed all of them, so that you're not going to have some sort of issues or problems when it comes to your second level. Because if you fail 1 or 2, definitely it becomes a disaster. And then again, there's another rule that is also quite critical that talks about the obsolete modules. It's a GR 15 rule. So what happens here, you'll find that students have been in the system, let's say, for 3 years. And then the student decide to actually defer and not continue with the studies for maybe a period of 2 or 3 years. And then after 3 years, a student decide to say, no, let me go back and try to finish my degree. So which means that the student already have what? 6 years. So you need to understand that when you come back to try and complete that particular qualification, it means that we need to start afresh. Because when you come back after 6 years, there will be those modules that will be obsolete. So our content keeps changing. We actually always modify our programs. So when you come back after a 6 year, it means that other modules that you actually passed, you have to start them afresh. So that's why it's always important to make sure that, because now we have got this opportunity, you need to make sure that you focus on your studies, make sure that you pass all those modules that you registered and then able to complete your degree in a record time to avoid these kind of issues. And then again, there's another important rule that pertains to DP performance. There are certain modules that actually requires you to achieve a certain percentage for you to go and write the examination. But there are other modules of which you are not actually required to actually meet a certain percentage. But majority of our modules within the School of Management, IT and Governance, it requires you to achieve 40% for you to be in a position to go and write the final assessment or final examination. So these 40%, it's actually coming from the class marks, all those mini activities or mini assessments that have been given to class. It will all contribute toward that 40%. And then again, the issue of a pass mark, which is also a GR 27. In the university, the pass mark is actually 50%, not less than 50. But again, there are certain modules whereby it's above 50%. You'll find that it's 60% for you to pass a particular module. But majority of the modules that we have within the School of Management and IT and Government, you need to achieve a 50% so that you will be able to move to the next modules. Again, another rule that is quite important, of which I also sit on the structures on it, is academic exclusion. It always said for me when I sit on those committees to discuss the future of the students. Because remember, the issue of academic exclusion, it's that where you are not actually coping with a particular degree. You're not coping with certain modules that are offered under that particular degree. So it's always quite important to make sure that if you feel that you're not coping with a certain module, there are support services available. You need to consult. Even academics, lecturers that teaches these modules, they are always available to assist. Tutors, your academic development office, they are always there to assist. So all these support structures are actually there for you to utilize them into the fullest, to ensure that at the end of the day, you avoid the issue of academic exclusion. Because this one is a reality. There are many students that are being excluded in university, but because they didn't pay much attention on their degrees, because they didn't use the system or services that are available to them. But again, students always have got a right to appeal the exclusion. But appealing an exclusion doesn't mean that you will automatically qualified to be readmitted. Sometimes some of the students are being excluded totally into the university, but again, some other students, they do qualify to actually to come back to the system. Okay, so that's it for the rules. Those are few rules that I wanted to actually highlight for you. You need to keep in mind those rules. Those rules are quite critical. But it's not only these. I just selected a few of them because I've observed in the past few years to say majority of students, they actually suffer because they really don't understand these rules that I actually discussed above. And then again, we've got this thing called the robot system that discusses the issue of academic performance of the student. So the performance of the student is actually classified in 3 categories. Firstly, we've got the good academic standing student. So, because this is your first year, definitely you will be given that a green status. So for you to remain in a green status, you need to make sure that you passed at least 75% of the maximum expected credit load. So from these 10 modules, you need to at least pass 75% of your modules so that you'll continue staying on a green status. And then again, avoid the issue of being on the side of an exclusion. And then secondly, we've got at-risk status that are given to a student. So a student here who's at risk is actually required to participate in a compulsory development program. Why students are being put at risk is because they fail to actually at least pass the 75% of the maximum expected credit load. So once you fail, and then you pass few modules of the load that you took, so definitely you will fall on this status, at risk status. And then lastly, we've got underperforming status, which is coded with a red color. It's really, really, really not good to be in this situation. When your status is red, it means that there are high chances that you will end up being excluded in the university. So try by all means to fight so that at the end of the day, you're not going to find yourself in this situation. So when you're underperforming, it means that really, really, you're not coping with the modules. So now we need to put interventions whereby we have to allocate only few load on your side so that you can actually able to try to keep up or try to improve on those modules. Normally, we give students only 3 modules per semester, and then we are only required to register for only 1 semester, and then thereafter, we'll see if there is an improvement or not. But again, for that particular semester, if you fail to pass maybe a 1 module out of 3, so there's a high possibility that you will be excluded. But again here, student support service comes handy because this is where they have to make sure that they provide support for this student so that at the end of the day, they cannot be excluded. So to avoid an exclusion, for instance, for 2 semesters, you need to actually able to achieve 128 credit points if you are doing a BCom General degree for 2 semesters. But again, if you go above 6 semesters, you're going for the 7 semesters, that will mean that exclusion is nearby, especially if you're not having started with the 3rd level modules. It's become a problem. So again, I will emphasize that you need to make sure that you read the handbook, understand the handbook, so that at the end of the day, you're not gonna be a victim of the exclusion. Okay, so the programs that we have, as I've indicated, programs and measures that we have. So we have Bachelor of Business Administration, we've got a Bachelor of Administration, we've got Bachelor of Commerce, that is general, and then Bachelor of Commerce Foundation. So unlike Bachelor of Accounting, whereby at the 3rd level, they only have accounting modules. So within the School of Management, IT and Governance, you are required to have 2 majors, not above 2, only 2 majors. So for instance, if we are a Bachelor of Commerce general student, you can either choose between supply chain management, marketing, management, information system and technology, information communication technology, human resource management, finance management, economics, and then again, we still allow students to actually also choose accounting. But on the side of accounting, we don't actually take all those accounting modules. It will be either tax, or it will be math, or it will be auditing. You cannot actually take all of them at once. So it will be tax together with economics, for instance, or it will be auditing together with economics. So you need to understand that. So to say within the Bachelor of Commerce, General or Foundation, you have to have 2 majors. And then same thing applies to Bachelor of Administration. But the difference with the Bachelor of Administration is that the first major, it's already there. It's public administration. Then for you is to actually make sure that you choose the second major between all these majors that have been highlighted, from supply chain all the way to economics. But for Bachelor of Administration student, they don't have that option of adding accounting as one of their majors. Accounting and finance. So it's supply chain, marketing, management, IS&T, HRM, and economics. So those are majors that are available for students that are doing a Bachelor of Administration. And then again, Bachelor of Business Administration, their structure is clear and straightforward. It's unlike a Bachelor of Commerce and then Bachelor of Administration. Okay, before I hand over to my colleagues to actually present on the career opportunities per each discipline. So I want to emphasize the support system that is available here. As I've indicated, the student wellness, counseling and career development. So in most cases, they deal with the confidential issues, personal issues. So they provide counseling if you have got those kind of issues. If you are unable to manage your time, you can actually book a session with them so that they will assist you accordingly. If you have got financial issues, they can actually assist you there. Life skills and psycho-educational workshops. So the student wellness or the student support services, I really beg you to actually utilize this service to the fullest, so that at the end of the day, you will actually benefit and then able to graduate in a record time. But again, within these disciplines, we've got a different set of assessments. So there are certain disciplines or certain modules that utilizes MCQs, certain modules that use essays, certain modules that utilize case studies approaches. So all of this, if you consult the writing place, for instance, if there's an essay that has been given to you, you have to make sure that you consult the writing place so that they will actually assist you accordingly in terms of how can you draft your assignment, what structure you need to use, how can you actually construct the paragraphs and all of those things. And then again, lastly, as per disciplines, the ADOs and then tutors, also please make use of those ones. Okay, right. And then lastly, you need to understand that when you come to the university, there are also many issues. For instance, when you're coming back to campus, because this semester, we're all coming back to campus, we're not continuing with an online, but we're going to have a little bit of online there and there. But majority of our classes will be conducted physical on campus. So we all are aware that there's always protest there and there. So it's always quite important, again, to understand these issues and then always have the classmates that you can actually liaise with them so that maybe if there are these kind of issues, you can always know how can you actually navigate through to the system. Okay, let me end there and then open for questions if there are questions before I can allow my colleagues to continue with their presentations. Samgele, are there any comments on the comment section?
Okay, from the question and answer, there are questions. What you can do is you can go there and answer them like directly. You can type an answer for them.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Now I will call my first colleague to actually address the students. This is Dr. Ntombela. Dr. Ntombela from the Human Resource Management and IR. Thank you.
All right. Good morning, everyone. As Dr. Nyao has said, thank you very much, Dr. Nyao. My name is Dr. Lungile Ntombela, and I'm one of the colleagues within the discipline of Human Resources and Industrial Relations. Okay, so I'm not going to go into great detail because of time. All I'm going to do is just give you a quick synopsis of the discipline, because we have two specializations within our discipline. We have human resource management as well as industrial relations. Then once I'm done with that, I'll then move into some of the career choices that you can then branch into when you're done with your degree. Okay, so HRM stands for Human Resource Management, and it is the practice of recruiting, hiring, as well as deploying of organizational employees. All right, so I normally say that the HR department in any organization is the heart of the organization, right? So the organization cannot be able to function without the HR department, right? Because why? All these employees that are employed within the organizations have got to go through the department. They have to be hired by those that are employed within that department. So HR is very important. All right, so other than recruiting, when we speak about HRM, we're also talking about training and development. We're talking about leave, making sure that people are able to get adequate time to go away and rest, rejuvenate, and come back to work, right? And various other policies that are very important to make sure that the working environment is conducive and is also very positive. All right, so if we then move on to the IR space, IR stands for Industrial Relations, or otherwise employee relations, right? And IR is basically the study that focuses on making sure that relationships are established. Okay, and these relationships are between labor or employees within that organization, the management or the organization itself, as well as the government, which we then obviously refer to as legislation, right? So if you are someone who has really good negotiation skills, someone that is really able to who has good problem-solving skills, then this is definitely a specialization that you need to go into. Right, so we also learn about the importance of trade unions, right, within any organization, as well as the bargaining units. So we also refer to important legislation to help us really cement this relationship between the three parties. So we use legislation like the Labor Relations Act, the Basic Conditions of Employment Act, the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, and so forth and so forth. Okay, so that's really a short synopsis of the two specializations. So if you are someone who's very compassionate, you're kind, you're passionate about working with people from different walks of life, then HR would definitely be where you need to go into. But if you're more of a negotiator, you're able to assist your friends if there are perhaps issues or grievances, like we use within the workplace, we use the term grievance, then the IR would be a specialization for you. All right, so then if we're moving on to some of the job opportunities, the nice thing about HRM and IR is that it has developed into a beautiful specialization in today's world. There's a lot of things that you can do, but I'm just going to touch on a few. So you can work within the HR department. So any organization's HR department, you can be an HR officer, so you can assist with recruiting and selecting of staff. You can work within compensation, so you can then assist employees that are new perhaps in organizing their salaries, those that are perhaps retiring, so you can assist them in terms of filling of those retirement forms so that they can get their retirement funds. You can even go into training and development. So if you're someone that's very good at presenting, good communication skills, and you're also very passionate about training and development, you can go into that space there, right? So you can also open up your own consultancy. You can open up your own consultancy and you can advise organizations on how best they can, perhaps change their organization strategy in terms of human resource management. You can advise organizations on some of the key trends on how to recruit in the 21st century with the introduction of the 4th industrial revolution. Okay, so you can even become a life or career coach, right? So if you've got a friend that is in psychology, you guys can team up, have an office, and you can be a life coach or a career coach, and you can guide people into careers that are in line with their skills, in line with their passions, and so forth and so forth. All right, and then if you want to go more on the IR space, then you can perhaps be, you can be an IR specialist. So you can deal with all organizational grievances. So if there is a grievance that has been lodged within your organization, you would then be the go-to person and you would deal with that issue. Obviously, you will then take that issue if it needs to be taken further, and you can also represent that employee within the bargaining council, the unit, or else the CCMA. Right, and or you can even go into trade unionism. Okay, so if you'd like to be a trade unionist representative, you can also go into there as well. Again, you're able to open up a consultancy that is also able to handle grievances as well as other issues within the workplace that need a legal assistance thereof. All right, and then obviously we would like you guys to come into academia. Right, so if you would like to teach, right, so that's also an option that you can do. Obviously, you'd have to study a little bit more, but that is also an option that you can go into whilst you're done with your studies. Okay, so I'm going to end there for now because my colleagues also need some time to communicate. If you need any more information on our discipline, you are most welcome to send us emails. I do think that that information will be sent to everyone at the end, but my email address is ntombela@ukzn.ac.za. That's ntombela@ukzn.ac.za. All the best for the year, guys, and good luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ntombela. You can also check there on the Q&A session there to answer any questions. But I pick up the common questions there on the section. Students are asking if is it possible to transfer from BCom General to BCom Accounting. The clear answer to that one is no. If you don't meet the entry requirement for BCom Accounting, you will not gonna be in a position to transfer from BCom General to BCom Accounting. So it's clear, if you want to join BCom Accounting, you need to have level 5 of mathematics. So that one need to be clear as from the onset, that transferring from BCom General to BCom Accounting is not allowed. Secondly, let me try to share the handbook, because I can see that majority of the students as well are asking about the modules. So again, please go and check the handbook. The handbook is on our website. Go there to UKZN website, you locate this handbook. So let's say you're doing the BBA, Bachelor of Business Administration. These are all modules that you need to register for this semester. Remember again, there's Zulu there. If you're Nguni speaking, you don't have to register Zulu, but you need to register BBAP 1CP. So these are modules for BBA. For BCom General or B Admin, I hope that student can actually see my screen on their side. for Bachelor of Administration, again, these are all modules that you need to make sure that you register for per semester. Again, you can notice there in the second semester, there's a Zulu module. If you're Nguni speaking, or if the humanities isiZulu department have assessed you and then they exempted you from isiZulu, then you have to register HRMG 1CO or accounting 103. And then again, and I scroll down to BCom General. BCom General, again, these are modules that the student have to register, 5 per semester. 5 per semester. So there's a student that said she or he registered for isiZulu. I don't understand how, because isiZulu is at the second level, not the first level. Please make sure that you register the correct modules. Okay. And then for BCom General Foundation, BCom Foundation. Sorry, colleagues, I'm taking your time now here on my side, but I have to do this for our F10s. Okay, the foundation program, these are the modules that you need to register. And then all this information is right there on the handbook. So please make sure that you check the handbook and then you register the correct module for your degree. Okay, next colleague is from the discipline of IS&T, Dr. Akonai. The floor is yours. Dr. Akonai.
Yes, thank you very much, and good morning to panelists and good morning to students. It's exciting to be here to really enlighten you about the IS&T. IS&T basically stands for Information Systems and Technology. Now, I had Fourth Industrial Revolution, and it's a buzzword that we hear about all around the place. The truth of the matter is that it is very important to understand where that comes from and the reason why it is important to consider the impact of technology on our lives. The Fourth Industrial Revolution is basically, first word is industrial. What does it mean? It basically means that every single industry, any industry you can think about, is impacted on or uses technology, right? And technology means any kind of gadget that aids you and enables you to do your work in a much more efficient manner. Now, why are we talking about the Fourth Industrial Revolution? We're talking about it because we are saying that revolution is a radical change. And therefore, what we're saying is that technology has become radical in impacting all industries. There's no industry that doesn't use technology. So what we offer here is to offer students the foundation you need to be able to engage at all levels within all industries with an organization. What am I saying? Does it mean that if you're a doctor, you cannot perform as a doctor? You can perform as a doctor, but for you to be more efficient as a doctor, you need technology to assist you. And if you need technology to assist you, you need somebody with information systems understanding to consult with you, to advise you, and to enable you to select the right technology to help you to do your work. And that is the first point. The second point is that a lot of people say technology is going to take over the jobs take over jobs. Why? Because there are some jobs that require the human being to just think in a certain logical manner, in a routine manner. It also requires a human being to think about selecting items and making decisions. All of those mundane tasks can be done by writing a very simple program to assist the human being to make that decision. What does it mean? It means that, yes, certain jobs will be done by technology. But the question you should be asking is that, where comes technology? Technology does not develop itself. Human beings develop technology. And therefore, when we deploy technology, human beings design that technology that we are deploying. And human beings need to maintain those technologies. And human beings need to advise users of the technology, what is appropriate technology to use. And that is why a degree in information systems and technology is very important. Am I saying that everybody should take that course? No. But what I'm saying is that when you have this degree, you have this capability, skill set, and competence, you become indispensable, if I may put it that way, because every industry will require your input when they're making decisions with technology. Right. So let's take an organization. I'm not going to talk too much about the detail of the course, because the detail of the course comes out from my explanation I'm giving to you now. Every organization uses technology. So how do they acquire the technology? Who designed the technology? The people who design the technology are people like yourselves who want to pursue a degree in information system technology. When you develop those systems, you develop the system based on the requirements of the organization. So somebody needs to advise the organization what their requirements are, and that is your role as information systems analyst. When they've now implemented those systems, it is still your role and your responsibility to assist them to deploy. So that kind of information system project management understanding. When they've deployed it, it's now your role to help them to maintain it and improve on it and then upgrade it. That is still your profession. So what I'm just saying to you now is that information systems, a degree in information systems and technology is the foundation of the fourth industrial revolution. If you can then find any industry that does not use technology, then probably that particular industry doesn't exist. So what do we offer? This is what we offer. In the first year, we're going to help you to understand an organization. We're going to help you to understand organization thinking, decision-making process. We're going to help you understand the requirement of organization. Based on that, we're now going to help you understand how systems are designed and the models used in the design, and how you can then analyze an organization's environment and align it to the technology requirement, information system requirement. And in second year, we then take you even further. In second year, we then take you to what are the tools, what are the knowledge bases, what are the methods, what are the techniques, what are the modeling structures that are required for you to be able to then confidently design a system. First of all, collect requirement, analyze the requirement, model the requirements. After you model the requirement, design the system, deploy the system, and train people on the system. Then we get to third year. That is very exciting. Third year, we then push you to industry. We say, go out there and look for a small business and apply your knowledge in the first and second year, in third year. So you're going to assist that company or small business, understand their requirement, advise them in terms of what technology exists out there that they can use, or alternatively, we push you further to say, why don't you yourself take it as a project and design a system that will help them to do their business and make decisions. So that is third year. If you want to come back now to fourth year to do honors and do masters, we then begin to offer you things like information system security, cyber security, databases. We then push you further. If you want to come and do your PhD, then that becomes your own choice of where you want to specialize in the PhD. So in a nutshell, BCom General in IS&T is indispensable at this moment. I'm not saying that do not pursue any of those other degrees, but I'm saying that if you want to be part of this revolution in moving forward, then please consider that. And with that, I wish you the best, and I hope that you would consider and see the future in a degree in information system technology. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Akonai. Let me move to the next speaker. I'm not going to say much there. You're putting other discipline, under pressure now. Okay, thanks a lot, Dr. Akonai. We'll move to the next colleague. Let me check on my agenda here. Dr. Ngube from Marketing and Supply Chain Management.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, colleagues. Thank you for the opportunity. My discipline is teaching supply chain management together with marketing. I'll start with my area of specialty, which is supply chain. Supply chain is divided into 3 parts, which is operations, which is more dealing with conversion of raw material into finished goods. So if you look around you, everything that you see around you was manufactured by the operations, except the blood and the flesh that is running on you. Secondly, we've got purchasing management, which is all about management of the external resources in such a way that the supply of goods and services, capabilities and knowledge, which are necessary for running and maintaining and managing the support and the primary activities of the organization. There's a second aspect of supply chain that we teach. Thirdly, we teach logistics and distribution, which is all about storage and transportation of goods and services, which comes in 2 forms, inbound and outbound. Inbound is when goods are moving into the organization before they start being processed. Outbound is when goods are leaving the organization. So the career opportunities in that field of supply chain, that's what will be taught in your undergraduate, but you can continue with your area of specialty in your honors and masters and PhD in those 3 areas that I've shown you in supply chain, which is operation and purchasing. So the career opportunities, you can become a plant manager, you can become a quality manager, the operations analyst, supply chain manager, the planner of the organization, the warehouse manager. So those are the career opportunities that you can end up pursuing once you are done with your qualification. The second area of my discipline will be marketing. So this is a team within the functional area within the organization that make the organization products and services known to the end users, of the customers, through the advertising campaign. We teach consumer behavior, the behavior of the consumers, how they behave, taste, when there is a change in taste and preferences of the item that we use from them, that we consume from them. We also teach communication, which are the strategies that are used in communication. We also teach marketing research, where we identify and manage marketing information or how this team manages the information effectively. Remember that this team of marketing mostly deal with research and development. They deal with innovation. So when there are gaps in the market, they will go extra mile and try and penetrate the market to find those gaps that are required by the customer. So the reason why our discipline has got these 2 units together is because they work hand in hand. The marketing department will go out to the market and run marketing campaigns, conduct research and development to try and identify the gaps on those customers that are not satisfied. Through the word of mouth, remember that the customer can change the mind because he's not satisfied or he's got the information from the reliable friend. So these are the things that we always do. And the other factor that I need to emphasize is that from time to time, remember that the taste and preferences, the bread 20 years ago is not similar to the bread now. So those innovations, those changes that are happening in the market, we have to keep track of them so that we are familiar with the marketing trends so that we'll be able to satisfy the customer by collecting the relevant information so that we make informed decisions. And the career opportunities in marketing can become a brand manager, marketing analyst, can become a marketing manager, marketing strategist. You can be an advertising manager. You can become a marketing research developer and innovator or innovation manager. And lastly, you can become a marketing planner. So if maybe you want to go further and seek more information, if you're interested in this discipline, you can email me or come directly to offices that are in M Block in Westville campus, or email us on. You can email me on mubei@ukzn.ac.za. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for the opportunity. If there are any questions, I'll catch up on the chat. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ncube. And I will quickly go to Dr. Bihari, Management and Entrepreneurship.
Thank you, Doc. Welcome, guys, to the 2023 orientation. So I am Dr. Anjisha Bihari from Management and Entrepreneurship. I teach first-year management and I teach entrepreneurship at honors level. Guys, management is basically the administration of an organization. Just like how we have planning, leading, organizing, and control in our daily lives, we do the same within an organization, be it a business, a non-profit organization, or even a government entity. They all need to be managed accordingly so that the aims, goals, and objectives of the organization are achieved. It's basically an art and a science, you know, in relation to the management of resources within the business, engaging in effective planning, organizing, leading, and control. If we had to briefly look at entrepreneurship, this basically looks at an entrepreneur. Who is an entrepreneur? I don't want to create a lecture here, but yes, an entrepreneur is an individual who identifies a need in the marketplace and then fulfills it. So any one of you, any one of us can become an entrepreneur. Given the high unemployment statistics we face here in South Africa, it is absolutely imperative and has become critical that each one of us starts thinking towards entrepreneurship and how we can make a difference in our communities, provinces, and South Africa at large, you know, by engaging in such entrepreneurial activities. So yes, management and entrepreneurship, there's so much to offer. When we're looking at entrepreneurs, you have small business entrepreneurs, you have social entrepreneurs, you have entrepreneurs who are merely entrepreneurs within businesses and work within the business realm. But let's quickly look more specifically at management, okay? Firstly, management can be an exciting and rewarding career. A degree in management can help you find work in a wide range of industries, including real estate, finance, marketing, sales, construction, even education, government sectors, healthcare, and the list goes on. It's literally endless. All right. Understanding the various careers can help you decide what to focus on while engaging and earning your management degree. Management is a broad field of study within a variety of employment opportunities for qualified candidates, like I just mentioned, right? So once you obtain your management degree, you will then be able to be in a position to apply for various types of jobs within the management portfolio, of course. Okay, and these could range from CEO, which we will discuss in a moment, sales managers, marketing managers, human resource management, IT managers, business analysis, and so on. So for most management jobs, you need a bachelor's degree, and the ultimate cream of the crop would be a master's degree in management. But we'll get there, and we will transit together when I meet you in first year. Which is next week. I will then, give you a greater explanation on how we can complete our degree, get into honors, get into master's eventually. Okay, let's look at the career opportunities, right? So I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm literally just going to touch the tip of the iceberg and just look at the ones that are really currently trendy. Social media managers, right? Here, the management position really looks at the responsibilities, including establishing social media campaigns, communicating with customers, clients, managing published material, and nurturing leads and sales. in Ginny and George, for those of you who are Netflix addicts like me, you will see that Georgia actually manages the mayor's office via social media account. Okay, and she's doing amazing. It's all about the likes and the views and how it's trending and how much of worth is going out there for that worth to then come back in. Right. The other one is the marketing manager's responsibilities. Okay. So you could become a marketing manager. So touching on my colleagues and other disciplines, management can really become a little step to each one of these different disciplines. All right. So here you're looking at overseeing marketing activities, not necessarily actually engaging in those, but yes, overseeing them, managing the department in relation to their promotional campaigns. Again, enabling decision-making, okay, collaborating with different agencies, partnerships, etc. And again, very trendy. Nowadays, every girl wants to become an Emily who's living her best life in Paris, okay, running and doing so well within her managerial position as a marketing manager. So you will see planning, organizing, leading, and control fits into all managerial portfolios. Okay. The duties of an HR manager, like my colleague Dr. Lungi discussed, it's become so trendy these days, and it's a whole discipline and a whole function within organizations. Again, you could become a human resource manager, having taken up management as one of your majors. Okay, together, of course, with human resources. All right, guys, business analysis, you look at budgeting, forecasting, planning, monitoring, analyzing, pricing, etc. Again, every business requires these types of portfolios. So decision-making, a very big component of management, then factors directly into each of these. All right. And of course, the cherry on the top that we all are looking for is the CEO, Chief Executive Officer. Again, you have to have management to get into this portfolio. Being able to manage a business, even if it's a small entity, the CEO takes on a more hands-on role, a more on-the-job approach, and manages decisions. And as a result, the organization is able to mature and grow and strategically align themselves with the achievement of goals and objectives. So guys, I'm not going to go into detail, but you can see very easily how management fits into all aspects of the business and is actually a very imperative part of every business. Okay, so when choosing your majors, choose wisely, as you can pair management according to your ambitions and get into your dream job after graduation. Management is an attractive career, choice because of the different types of tasks that one would need to complete daily. And I always revert back to my students and I say, every one of you are potential managers. Why? Because you can manage your life. And in doing so, you become someone who's capable of managing others. You understand? So as long as you can wake up to your alarm, get your schedule on time, you can follow up on tests and examinations, you can set goals, achieve those goals, you're doing well. So why not? You understand? And I said it's very rewarding. So I wish you all the best in your studies, and I really look forward to welcoming you to Management 120 for those of you who have enrolled for the module. Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Niall.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bihari, with that presentation. Let's get our last presentation from Dr. Zondi from the discipline of public governance. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, colleagues, and good morning to the students and everyone who is here this morning. Dr. Nyawo, I have a very small presentation that I would like to share with the students. Okay, be admin. So my name is Sakhile Zondi. I am representing public governance, which is one of the programs involved in the be admin qualification. So what are we doing in public administration. The focus of public administration is on government studies. So we focus mainly on government studies. We teach students to be responsible employees of the government. How do we do this? We do this by exposing them to the theory and practice in many areas of public administration, including public policy, public sector HRM, your public finance, local government, public management, etc., etc. And I would like to tell students that there are many job opportunities in public administration. Take, for instance, last year in 2022, there were 2.5 million people employed by the government. So if you consider public admin, please don't worry about your future. There is future in public administration. So be admin, it is offered in our school. Our school is management, IT, and governance. And we are the discipline of public governance. We are based at Westerville campus. We offer full-time courses. It is a 3-year program. It consists of 25 modules, and there are 400 credit points involved in these 25 modules. Each module consists of 16 credit points. So if you multiply 16 by 25, you will get 400 credit points. So please make sure that you pass all the modules in order to accumulate these credits, because if you fail a module, there will be no credit. So what are the measures in this program? Obviously, you'll be doing a public administration. Your core modules will come from public admin. In addition, you will take electives in other disciplines. These disciplines are economics, supply chain, entrepreneurship, marketing, ICT, HRM, management, etc., etc. So these are your core electives. Core electives are in a public admin, and the electives are in other discipline. Let us look into the module structure. There are 9 modules in your first year. I think you'll be doing 4 modules in this semester, first semester. In the second semester, you'll be doing another 5 modules. For your second year, there are 8 modules and another 8 modules in your third year. Now let us look into those modules. Your first year, semester 1. You'll be doing introduction to public administration, economics, and management. These are the core modules. What are the core modules? Core modules are the compulsory modules, are the modules that you need to have in order to complete your degree. So for this semester, we'll be doing these 3 core modules, and in the next semester, there will be 1 elective. It can be your HRM or accounting. You'll have to decide. So by the end of this semester, you must have these 4 modules, 3 core modules and 1 elective, either in HRM or accounting. In the second semester, there will be another 3 core modules: management science, economics, ICT. And you choose 1 elective in the second semester. It can be HRM or accounting 1 or 3. isiZulu is compulsory. I think Dr. Nyawo has already emphasized that point. Please make sure that you take isiZulu. But if you have done isiZulu in your matric, you don't have to do it again. If you speak isiZulu, you don't have to do it at the university, but we'll have to apply for the credits, because if you did not apply for the credit, there will be a problem when it comes to your graduation. Now let's move on to your second year. What will be happening in your second year? You'll be doing 2 core modules in the first semester. These are the public admin modules: public sector finance, local government. Those are the core modules, including 2 electives. Your electives, it can be your economics, your HRM, your management, your IS&T. That is your first semester in your second level. Now let's move on to your second year, semester 2. It's public sector HRM, it's public policy, as well as other 2 electives in economics, HRM, management, or IS&T. Now let's move on to your third year. What will be happening in your third year? You'll be doing 4 public admin modules, 2 in the first semester and another 2 in the second semester, as well as electives in other disciplines. It can be economics, HRM, etc., etc. What is interesting about this program in public governance is that it gives you an opportunity to explore the modules that are being done in other disciplines. In other words, you are not only limited to public governance. You'll get a chance to understand what is happening in economics, HR, supply chain, marketing, etc., etc. But please make sure that you have prerequisites for this module. For instance, if you want to do a supply chain in your third year, you must have prerequisites in your second year. I think the prerequisite for supply chain is operations and management. Okay, so please make sure that you have correct prerequisites, because even if you like to do a particular module, but if you don't have a prerequisite, it will be a problem. Now, let's talk about career opportunities. What are the career opportunities if you have a public administration? There are many career choices that you may explore. I've already explained that in 2022, there were about 2.5 million people who were employed by the government. So you can see that this is the biggest sector of employment. You can work as an MM or municipal manager in local government, public sector manager, researcher, or lecturer. You can be a manager in one of the NGOs, a police analyst, public servant administrator, etc., etc. There are many career opportunities that are involved in this field. But please make sure that you pass all your modules so that you will have a bright future in public administration. Thank you so much, Chair. This is where I stop.
Thank you very much, Dr. Zondi. Before I give an opportunity to Dr. Soni to briefly discuss the BBA, students, you need to be aware that for you to select a major, we start at a second level. The modules that you select at a second level are the ones that will give you a clear indication which majors are you going to take. For instance, if you want to take economics as one of your major, so which means at the second level, economics 201 and economics 202 must be passed. If you want to do supply chain as one of your major, definitely management 2SM and intro to operations, which is SCMA 2OM, must be passed. Again, if you want to major in HRM, so definitely HRMG 2HM and HRMG 2JO must be passed at the second level. For IS&T, you have to make sure that you have IS&T 211 ISNT 212, and then ISNT 2IP. Those are prerequisite for that 11 modules. And then for management, we only need management 2SM and entrepreneurship. Those are prerequisite for management. And which other one I'm leaving behind? For marketing, it's marketing 2AM as well as a management 2SM. If you want to take a finance as one of your major, it's finance 201 and 202. If you want to add one of accounting, because again, students have emphasized this, you're not going to be allowed to take all accounting modules at that level. You choose between auditing, tax, and math. You don't take all of them. So let's say you want to add a tax as one of your major, then you have to make sure that you do have accounting 211, accounting 212, accounting 221. Those modules are a prerequisite for accounting modules. Okay, and then again, I think there's also a critical point that I want to highlight. I think one of my colleagues also highlighted here, the issue of NSFAS. You see, if you transfer from one qualification to another, definitely there will be an implication when you are being funded by NSFAS. You need to always consider that, because they will count that you were funded under B-admin, and then you went to BCom. Under BCom, they will start as if you're in the second level of your study. So definitely there will be some sort of implications when you do some sort of transfers from one degree to the next. Okay, Dr. Sanjay Soni, briefly on PPA.
Thank you, Dr. Nyao. Thanks a lot for that. And good morning, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sanjay Soni, and I'd like to cover with you the very briefly the Bachelor of Business Administration. The Bachelor of Business Administration basically is a degree, and it's offered both on the Pietermaritzburg as well as the Westville campus. Now, the important point to take note of in terms of this degree is that it's actually very structured. So you have a structured first year, you have a structured second year, and a structured third year. Now, essentially, when you do the degree, the first year is basically made up of a number of very basic modules. We talk about very principles-related modules, very rudimentary modules that basically set the scene for what is to come next. Focus of attention basically would be on things like introduction to business management, for example, economics, for example. If you haven't done isiZulu, for example, at school, or if you have not been exempted for it, you'd be required to do the isiZulu module. If you have been exempted for isiZulu, then you do another module that we call Business 101, which is based on communication in business. And there's also a component, a mathematical component in the first year, where you cover management science, which is more of a statistical type of module. In addition to that, in that first year, you do accounting as a module, you do another economics module, you'll also be introduced to computing as a module, and you also cover something in law. So that as such would cover your first year. So you're basically exposed to a number of important areas that relate to business. Now, once you've actually done your first year, and if we look at the number of modules, you're required to do 4 modules in semester 1, which is 64 credits, and you do 4 modules in semester 2, which is 64 credits as well. So that basically culminates the first year. The second year, where things start to become a little more advanced, you cover things like human resource management, for example, you cover business management, you cover accounting, you cover information management. That's basically in the first semester of the second year. So essentially what's happening is you're starting to take on modules that are very business specific. and particularly modules that are offered within the disciplines of the School of Management, IT, and Governance. So human resources, business management, business accounting, for example, supply chain is a module also offered in the second year, marketing management. So these basically make up your second year. And again, you have 64 modules that are taken, or rather 64 credits that are taken in semester 1 and 64 credits in semester 2. One module is 16 credits. So you do 4 modules in semester 1, which is 64 credits, and you do 4 modules in semester 2. So that's your level 2 of the BBA. And the third level, or your third year, starts to become very, very specialized. You know, you've probably heard of the terminology majors. So you start to basically specialize in, you major in all the important areas that are offered as specific disciplines within the School of MIG. That is, you take a third-year marketing module, you take a third-year business management module, you take a third-year human resource module, you take a third-year supply chain module, for example, you'll do something in business tax, for example, and so on. So that again, 4 modules semester 1 in your third year, 4 modules semester 2. So that's basically a rundown of the 3 years. I've been getting a number of questions on chat in terms of why is this called a part-time. It's actually a full-time degree as such, but the lecture attendance takes place in the evenings. So you attend your lectures at 5:30 and your lectures end at 8:30. So as I pointed out, you know, it's a degree that is, as the name implies, the Bachelor of Business Administration, BBA, and focus of attention basically is on business and the important components of a business. And at the end of it all, chances are that you would have a very good understanding and grasp of all important aspects of business. So you can go out there, for example, and you can start your own business, or you can run a business successfully because you understand tax and you understand accounting and you understand marketing and things like that. So career-wise, it's a degree, and you know, many of these degrees, particularly the business degrees, and particularly in the case of the BBA, by virtue of the fact that you have so many different areas that you would have actually covered, you can get into virtually most areas of business. So you can get into marketing, you can get into supply chain, you can get into areas like that. You can get into human resource management, for example, and so on. So in a nutshell, it's a very popular degree. It's very well patronized. You would learn a lot about business and what business is and how business takes place, and the application of business principles. So that's also an important aspect here. That is not just learning about theory, but how it actually applies. And what we do is we tend to allow students to engage with case studies. So you get a case study based on a particular scenario, marketing scenario, or general business scenario, and you're required to apply business principles to trying to solve business problems that are outlined in that particular case study. So it's also a very, very practical degree as well. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, perhaps if you have any questions for me, you can raise them later. But that's my story in terms of the BBA qualification. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Soni. Samgeye is highlighting that we are running out of time. I really appreciate that one, Dr. Soni. Colleagues, I really appreciate your time to come here and then assist our student and provide that critical information that is required. But what I also want to emphasize again, I saw one of the comments from the student indicating why are we not allowed to actually choose Zulu, although we did Zulu at the high school level. Remember, this Zulu module that is offered, it's just a basic Zulu. So you cannot learn anything. So, because again, you come with a prior experience and knowledge of isiZulu, definitely you are not allowed to actually register isiZulu language. Students, will really appreciate choosing the School of Management, IT and Governance. We hope that you're going to enjoy to be with us. You're going to accumulate relevant skills that will actually assist you in the future. We really appreciate to choose the School of Management, IT and Governance. Unfortunately, I'm not too sure, Samge, with your permission, Stabiso wanted to say something.
Who? Sorry?
Stabiso Konza.
Okay, Sabiso. No, he can say, I'm gonna.
Okay, over to you, Stabiso. I think only for 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you, Doc. All right, let me introduce myself. I know that some of you have already seen me in the past couple of days that have been attending from the beginning, but I wanted to introduce myself. I'm Sabiso Mkonza. I am the first year experience coordinator for the School of Management, IT and Governance. So any issues that are relating to mentorship, I saw some questions on the chat about the mentorship program and being assigned mentors. You can direct those queries to me and I will assist you. So in terms of assigning mentors, we're just waiting for you guys to be registered so that we can assign you a mentor that's going to take you through the year. With regards to questions like issues for registration and any other queries, if you're not sure about your modules, we have WhatsApp groups where there are mentors that are assisting you guys, and I'm also there to assist you guys. You can also message me on WhatsApp as well if you are stuck and you're not sure which modules to choose, and we will be assisting you with that. So there's quite a lot of help that you guys have in your way. There is really no room for mistakes, because those mistakes can affect you and cause you not to complete your qualification in time. With regards to the changes, guys, I just want to emphasize that, like we are telling you now, even if maybe you were told by a staff member that you can change, the rules were upgraded recently, were updated recently in terms of the requirements, the entrance requirements. So the staff member might have been wrong because they have the old information. So just listen to what we are telling you now and actually focus on what you're doing now. Don't let your other friends sort of influence you to try and get into another program. Try to pursue what you are in, do some research. There is quite a lot of opportunities. I was also in the School of Management, IT and Governance, and I can tell you now, there's quite a lot of opportunities with the programs that you are registered in, from PPA to BAdmin to BCom General. All these degrees are equally important. And there's quite a lot of job opportunities that are at your disposal. So that's all I wanted to say to you guys. And thank you very much, Doc. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Stabiso. Lastly, on my side, students, if you have got any queries related to registration, and then I saw some comments from the student to say, I cannot register certain modules, you can direct those queries to me. My email address is nyawj1@ukzn.ac.za, nyawj1@ukzn.ac.za. Again, student issues related to funding, please, those issues you have to direct them to the student funding office, because my office is actually dealing with the teaching and learning. So if you've got issues on the side of registration, issues related to teaching and learning, I'm looking forward to actually resolve those kind of issues. Thank you very much, students, for attending. Colleagues, I really appreciate your time to come and deliver those presentations. Thank you very much. Thank you. Over to you, Samge. I think.
Thank you, Dr. Jabulani. Thank you, colleagues, for your presentations. Once again, we will have another session tomorrow for students who are doing from SMEC, who are doing IT and all the other related courses. To register for those, they can go online. They will also receive SMSs with the links on how to register for the session tomorrow. And they can also visit our Facebook page, UKZN College of Law and Management Studies. Thank you again. Our session ends here for today.